So the first thing that we're going to do before we get started is sanitize everything that's going to come into contact with the raw milk. So the milking lines, the milk bucket, all utensils that would be used, everything will go through a bleach rinse first. And now that we are ready to start milking, we'll open the doors and let the goats come in 6 at a time. They'll get in place, I'll lock their heads in, they'll have food, and then we're going to use a strip cup and we're going to strip a little bit of milk from each teat, make sure that there's no signs of mastitis, and then we're going to use a pre-dip. That is a hydrogen peroxide based dip that sanitizes the teat before we get started. So each teat will get a pre-dip, and then we'll use a paper towel, a clean paper towel for each teat, and dry it off, wipe it down, and then once each goat is finished, then we're ready to hook up 2 at a time and start milking. So once we are finished milking, now we're going to finish stripping them out, make sure that no milk is left behind, and then we're going to use a post-dip. And the post-dip is a different product than the pre-dip. That's very important in the prevention of mastitis. So we are using an iodine-based post-dip that we will use on each teat. Used to hand milk each goat when I had, 3 to 5 goats in milk. But now that I'm looking at somewhere closer to 12 to say 18 goats in milk, hand milking is a little more burdensome. But also machine milking is just a much cleaner way to milk. You get much cleaner milk from that. So when you're hand milking, if you were milking 12 goats by hand, it takes quite some time. But with the machine milking, I can milk 6 goats within 10 minutes. And that is cleaning them, milking them, post-dip, getting them off the stand, 10 minutes, the next group comes in. So it's a big time saver. Of course, also it's much cleaner milk. And I guess that's my biggest decision making in switching to machine milking, was that I would be able to milk a whole lot more goats in a whole lot less time. So once the milk has been strained through a filter, or unless you're using a built-in filtering system in your milk machine, then you're going to need to quickly cool down the milk. The milk needs to be chilled down to 39 degrees within the first 2 hours. If you use the freezer method, it's going to take you about 2 hours to get the temperature to a safe temperature within the time period that you need to chill it. We use a bulk tank now, and so that takes about 5 to 7 minutes. So it goes straight from the milking bucket into the bulk tank, and about 5 to 7 minutes later, the milk is chilled down to 39 degrees. Stay tuned for future videos with more information about safe milk handling.